And I don't buy that. And so we just look at things very differently. And she's endorsed all the projects that I said I wanted to have, but she doesn't like the idea of taking a narrow sliver of the state general fund. So now she's obligated to tell us which taxes she's going to raise and how high she's going to raise them. Yeah, yes she is. And so, big issue we're going to be talking about, though, between now and November is fiscal responsibility or lack thereof, and what's happened with the state budget. You know, she's increased the size of the state budget by almost 34%. It's like $5.7 million a day in new spending. Or $4,000 for a family of four in new spending. All right, you get $4,000 more value out of state government? Probably not. Well, here's the problem, though. She put together a budget that has a spending growth rate that's 2.5 times the revenue growth rate. The budget has a spending growth rate that's 2.5 times the revenue growth rate. How long do you think you could do that in your own business, or even your own household? Not very long, could you? But in your own business and your own household, you just can't go back to your boss or customers and say, hey, you know, last year I just spent too much money, so this year I'm going to take more. That probably wouldn't pan out, would it? No, it wouldn't. The government can do that. They can do that in the form of taxation. They can reach in and take it, and that's exactly what's going to happen here. They can reach in and take it from you. What she did was she's blown through the biggest surplus the state has ever known, $2.1 billion surplus. And according to the nonpartisan Ways and Means staff, if everything goes right, she's managed to turn it into a $2.7 billion deficit for the next governor to face. Now, she's going to say, oh, we've had an economic downturn, and don't listen to that rubbish. Let me tell you why. Is that this $2.7 billion deficit that's projected for next year is also projected out with 8% revenue growth. It means you get 8% more money to spend, but you have to spend it by $2.7 billion. That's just reckless at best, isn't it? Reckless at best. You know, you get some changeable choices in this campaign. Now, remember 2004 during the campaign when Christine Gregoire said she wasn't going to raise your taxes? Remember that one? Yeah, that was a good one, wasn't it? Yeah. And then, an hour after she's sworn in, the Seattle Times asked her if she's going to keep her no tax pledge. She says, well, I really never meant no taxes. And then she raised your taxes by over $500 million. I'm not even including the 9.5 of gas tax in that. Over $500 million, which includes the death tax, which is chasing entrepreneurs out of our state. What a horrible tax. Taxing people who just lost loved ones. We need to eliminate the death tax in the state of Washington. So now we know, no matter what gets said during the course of the campaign, it's not all that relevant. She's going to raise your taxes again, right? Right? I mean, it's just not that relevant. And so now, I'm sure the campaign folks aren't very happy about this, but she let the beans spill over the spokesman review editorial board. She told the spokesman review editorial board that she favored a state income tax. But you got to love the next part of this. Citizens of the state of Washington just need to be educated about the merits of a state income tax. You don't need to be educated about the merits of a state income tax? I didn't think so. So here we go. Here's a tangible choice. You know, as the senator mentioned, in 2003, I became chairman of the Senate Ways and Means Committee. As chairman of the Senate Ways and Means Committee, I was in charge of running the $23 billion general fund budget, the $2 billion capital budget, any taxes, spending, pensions, anything over $50,000 that wasn't transportation related had to come past my guy. And next to governor, that's the best job in Olympia, I think. Now, Republicans had a one-vote majority in the Senate, Democrats controlled the House, and Democrats the governor's mansion. And I got to be chairman, though, during the largest dollar deficit in Washington State history. Yeah, timing's everything in life, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, people are sending condolences cards to me. Yeah. And, but I stood up and I said, number one, I wasn't going to raise taxes because I believe it'll harm the economy and throw people out of work. But number two, I'm going to do everything I can to protect the most vulnerable people in our society. And so you think about people who are mentally ill or people with developmental disabilities or people in nursing homes and there, but for the grace of God, you and I, we need to be able to help. I believe that you can be fiscally conservative and still have a social conscience. I didn't think those things were mutually exclusive. Well, most people didn't think this could be done. Most people didn't. I know caucus really didn't think it could be done. They thought it was kind of neat I was talking about that stuff. But, and I've been chairman all of 2 weeks when my Senate Ways and Means staff, the nonpartisan staff, took me aside. And the guys that ran my staff, they said, Senator, we hope you don't have any illusions that any of that stuff you're talking about is going to pass. This is on staff, right? So have faith, we can do this. That's exactly what we did, one foot in front of the other. And in the end, ended up balancing the biggest deficit in state history without raising taxes. And really, in our adult lifetime, it's about the only time we've had a major deficit that did not result in tax increase. But I also did it without hurting the most vulnerable in our state. I ended up receiving the first annual Defender of Liberty Award from the Evergreen Freedom Foundation for being the architect of the most fiscally conservative budget ever written in this state. And I'm proud of that. I'm also equally proud of the fact that I ended up receiving 6 different awards from the developmentally disabled community for doing exactly what I said I would do by protecting their funding. Proving that you really can be fiscally conservative and still have a social conscience. So now, you get to pick from 2 candidates come November, don't you? And I think it'll be easy to pick by the time we get down to November, because this is kind of how it's going to go. One candidate balanced the biggest deficit in state history without raising taxes and still protecting the vulnerable. The other candidate said they weren't going to raise taxes, but raise your taxes by $500 million. And that was create a very large deficit and favors something most people don't want to solve the problem. Pick! Right? I mean, it's going to be very clear, very real, very tangible. So here's what I want to see happen in the state, though. I want to turn Washington State into an entrepreneurial state. That's what I want to see happen here. It's all possible, folks. It's all possible. We have one of the highest small business failure rates in America, in Washington State. It doesn't have to be that way. If you think about that, one of the highest small business failure rates. So someone thinks they've got a service or a product that someone else wants, so they risk their family's entire financial future to chase this dream. They got a less than reasonable shot of success here in Washington State. It shouldn't be that way. But contrast is good. Contrast in this race is really good, because I'm running against someone that's been in state government almost 40 years now. Now, she's never had a private sector job in her adult life. That does not make you evil. That does not make you bad. It sure gives you a very narrow, Olympia-centric view of the world. I come from the commercial real estate business. I come from a world that 100% commission. I come from a world of no salary, no benefits. If you don't work, you don't eat. I understand the free enterprise system, but that's not the okay. Is that a little different lens to look through? That's a little different lens. I was the first governor in my lifetime to come from that walk of life. And so when I talk about these things, I actually understand these things. And the reality here is that they don't want to talk about a lot of these issues down there. Workers'